Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here. So I want to thank everyone for being here. So I want to share a little bit about my background. My name is Charlie Cervantes. I've been with the Institute in the Human and Social Development for 17 years. So I started in 2001 with childcare careers. So I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with childcare careers. So I started, then after that I became an assistant teacher for a couple years, a teacher for another couple years, then a home visitor for 7 years. And now I do family engagement and father engagement. And the reason I went into family development and father engagement was because as I was growing up, my dad, he was a provider, but there was no connections, there was no engaging, there was no bonding, you know. So I wanted to do something different for my children when I had my children. So, you know, just to break that cycle, I started, you know, with the workshops, with the parent engagement, with all these trainings. I gathered all these tools, and you know, there's always room for improvement. I don't know everything, but I wanted to share this information with the dads, with the fathers in my program, so they can understand and value the importance of being an active father. You know, it's really important. And in this profession, you know, I wear two hats. I have to wear two hats. One is a staff, and when I do my father engagement, I just wear one as a father. So what I mean by that is that when I do these cafes or the father groups, you know, I don't go in as a staff or a coordinator or a teacher. I go in there as a parent, as a father, you know, to network with each other, to learn from each other, to share experiences. And that's been really working. There's been more of a connection with each other. You can see the difference when we walk, you know, in the beginning of the program here, the dads were walking in, not saying anything to anyone else, you know. And now with the family groups, the father cafes that we've been doing, they how you doing? They stop by, they talk to each other, they're networking to the point that they're doing things, as you see this picture, none of these dads knew each other before the program. So when we were doing the cafes, we started to connect and exchange information. And now we do outings, barbecues, certain things like that that we do. So any questions about that? So it was, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about this is V, welcome V. About some of our challenges.
Before I begin, I just want to say that I apologize for running in, coming in late. I wasn't gonna be able to make it. My wife got sick last night, and my youngest boy. My two boys are out of school right now for the whole week, and my wife is in grad school right now, and she's graduating in May. So I was gonna pull out, but I couldn't leave my partner in crime like this. I told my wife, you know, if she can just give me at least 45 minutes to an hour just to show up. And you know, like I said, I apologize because I know I'm always on time to things, and time is really important to me. And I know time is also important for you guys, so I apologize for that. Like I said, my partner in crime. First of all, I'm not in this profession. I will tell you that straight up. My field is in totally different. I'm going into HVAC. That's what I'm going to. Manufacturing is what I do now as a profession, and it's what I love to do. But I will tell you this: this is what I'm passionate to do. Is parent involvement, and it means a whole lot to me. Just the fact that where I grew up here. Probably many of you guys know a little bit of my story. I've spoken in few events, few agency I spoke at. It's been a very blessing to me to speak at these events. Why? Not only because I'm a parent, the other important thing to me is because I'm a father, and I'm an involved father at that. Very involved. When I say involved, I do the cooking at home. I do the cleaning. I volunteer in the classroom. You name it, I bring it. And I'm proud of it. I'll tell you that much. I'm very proud of that. And what I've learned, I've been doing this for about 3.5, going on 4 years. My boys, I have a son, my oldest is gonna be 6 years old tomorrow, and I have a 4-year-old, about 18 months apart. I was very fortunate, just to share a little bit of my background of why I do the things that I do, and why I view life a lot different than many men. And I can say that with a humble way, because I was born in I'm one out of 8 kids, first generation here in the United States. My parents came here in the middle 70s. Didn't have nobody here. My dad just got up from Tonga, decided to come out here, find a life for us. I wasn't born yet, but my 3 oldest, with my oldest siblings, it's about almost like a 10+ gap between me and my older siblings. 3 of my older siblings is about a 10+ gap between us. I was very blessed because my parents, I grew up in a stable home, grew up in a loving home. The only difference was my dad, all he taught us was provide. All the other tools, I had to pick up on my own. But I'm very thankful because my parents taught me what love was. Love covers so many things in this world. And that's what, I come to speak about, is how no matter how my parents didn't tell me how parent involvement was, as I got older, I realized because all their job was to do was to provide. And I always questioned why, but then I realized that my parents didn't have the resources that I have now. No kind of resources. Didn't know where to go if they wanted food. Didn't know where to go, where to get help for rent. They had to work 2, 3 jobs just to get by. Now here's the switch, where the switch comes in. It's my wife. I'm very blessed to have an amazing, supportive wife. My wife, and she's okay. I told her that I was gonna, if it was okay, that I use some of her story, but I just want to have you guys feel the comparison, why I do the work that I do voluntarily. My wife comes from only her, she's a twin, identical twin, and her older sister. She came from a broken home. Her dad left when she was 8 years old, left the home, got married, started a whole different family. So as I got to meet my wife, I wanted to sit there and realize why she thinks a lot different than I do. And what it came to find out over all these years, I've been married going on 8 years now. What I realized was the family dynamics was totally different. What I thought that was meant for everyone, she didn't, because she came from a broken home. I realized she came from a home that her parents fought all the time. It got very physical. Me, I never seen my parents fight at all. When my dad gets upset, shuts out, leave the house. That's what I do. My wife, she's very vocal about what how she feels. And I try to sit there and ask why. But you know what? Doing this work, speaking to other parents, I realized the most important thing is not trying to fix them, but it's trying to understand them. That's what helped me a lot in the field that I'm going to. I've been very blessed. A lot of you guys are expert. When me and Charlie, sorry I'm gonna be going back and forth, my mind is everywhere, but I hope you guys can bear with me. When we were asked if we can speak, this was a blessing for us, especially for me and Charlie. When they told us what we were gonna talk about, I wanna be honest with you. Me and Charlie sat down, and we didn't want this to be a lecture. Why? Because you guys are all expert in your field. What we wanted to do was share this as an experience to help one another, especially in the family engagement field. And excuse me, and Charlie, we go back and forth. We wanted this to be an open discussion, and I'm straight honest with you. If you're gonna get something from myself or Charlie, it's gonna be all honesty. Because like I said, this field, this is where you guys are expert at. I'm not, but I will tell you this, I've been through a lot. to know what family engagement is. And that's why it's really important to me, because I want it to be a structure in my family that when my boys grow up, that they're gonna continue to carry it on to their families. Because you know, as you view male figures today, I've got to see the male figures that's not involved, that's halfway involved, and some that are really involved. I chose not to be halfway involved. I chose to be fully involved. Why? Because the tradition that I want to carry on to my boys. How Charlie was saying about the challenges that we have, man, the Father's Cafe at IHSD has been a very blessing to me. When they brought out this first, they brought it out the first year. It's been about 3 years, right?
3 years.
About 3 years now. We've been working with the dad. When they brought it out the first year, my mind was like, yes, finally. Finally, the county has decided to do something that's gonna really work. So we gathered all the dads. Charlie did send out all notes. Our very first Father's Cafe, there was about 18, 20 dads that were there. Different culture, different background, different ethnic group. I was just excited. When we got there, we did the whole structure thing that they have us do at the Father's Cafe. And I was like, man, you know what? I want to see how this is gonna work. Because, you know, coming as a male figure, to sit there with a bunch of men, oh man, it's crazy, because you're sitting there like, what are you thinking about? Like, you can just only sit there and think like, man, you know what? I wonder if he likes it. Because us men, you know, we hold things in to where we can sit there and lie to you in your face. But it's not like we're lying, we just don't want to hurt people's feelings. And that's what I told Charlie. I said, man, it's gonna be scary, which it was truly scary. Because our first dad that came in, it looked like he was forced to come in. He came in with an attitude like, man, when is this gonna finish? How long are we gonna be here? And he came with his wife. That's how we knew that he was forced to come in. So we were like, man, he just came with an attitude that was just negative. And me and Charlie kept telling each other, man, you know what? We hope it's not gonna be like this for the rest of the day. So he came in there with his wife. His wife dropped him in, and his wife said, can I stay? Me and Charlie said, you know what, we apologize, but it was only for us men. And she said, oh, it's okay, I'll go wait outside. And then she goes, and then that was the experience that we got. Our very first dad that came in was him. And it was like, man, you know what, that can either go in a positive way, or it's gonna go in a negative way. But I'm glad that I had Charlie, because me and him just kept going back and forth. And like, man, you know, Charlie, we have to figure something out, because we can already tell this is not where he wants to be. And you know, we just try to kind of just understand and just like not judge him, but just kind of have a conversation with him. He was just totally shut off. So other dads came in, and as other dads came in, it got a lot, you can feel the vibe was a lot respect. And man, it was amazing, because the dads, they spoke on things that I knew they wouldn't be able to speak around their spouses, around women. So it really was heartfelt for me. The reason why I say that was a challenge, the following month we had it, only how many dads came? About three to four dads. And that's what I meant. I knew it was either gonna go south on us, which it did, because on the second month, only like 3-4 dads came. I realized through this journey, the challenges was men sharing the positive and just being really, we hold a lot of things in. Men don't like to share things. Why? Because I realized over the years within myself is that some things that we hold in and some things that we don't share. And I don't know why, it's just the way that us men work, is that it's the pride. There you go, that was the word I was looking for. It's the pride. It's the pride that afraid of getting help, afraid to reaching out to other men, and just afraid of having people knowing your business. That's what kills us men, and that's what I realized over the years. it's gonna only kill who I am as a father, as a husband, and as a leader of the community and as my little family. But you know, those challenges that I've shared with you is the challenges that this community or this San Mateo County has faced over the years. Why I say that? Look where we're sitting at today, still talking about fathers being involved. It's just a cycle. But I will tell you this, man, you know, one thing I've learned is that if I touch one father, that's what me and Charlie said, was if I touch one father along the way, we feel like we did not our job. That's what we're called to do. Because, you know, like I shared, this is not my field. I'm not in this profession. I pour my heart and soul out into this field, but it's not my profession. I'm just here to show my boys how a legitimate father looks like and how important it is that they carry that on into their life. And I realized that over the years, the challenges that I have is not trying to fix anyone. It's not. It's understanding the person's story. You know, I realized, you know, I've been going into this field and understanding, but I also been on the other side where you guys, where the different people try to sit there and help me. And one thing I will say this is, you guys are expert, but one challenges I see is trying to fix what is broken. But I realized that it doesn't work that way. It's trying to understand and hear their stories, ride along, sit with them, and let them tell their story. And that's how it works in this profession. If there's one thing is work, know that it was a calling for you guys to go into the field that you guys are going into. You know, I applaud you guys, the field that you go. It's a really difficult field. I already know I was very blessed and fortunate to different agency reaching out and saying, man, why is it taking you so long to get into this field? And I will tell you this, I don't do it because I don't want to do it. Why? Because I already know what you guys deal with on a daily basis. I want to volunteer because that's where my heart is. And till this day, I still volunteer in different agencies. I've been very blessed to speak at different agency organizations. It means a lot to me because I want to encourage you guys from a parent. When I come up here, I'm coming up here as a parent, and I want to encourage and motivate you guys for the work that you guys do. I understand sitting on your end how hard it can be dealing with parents, dealing with different situation issues, but I can guarantee you, keep at it, because your job is, no matter how organizations may look, how many numbers you're gonna get, I realize the game in this in different organizations. It's all about numbers. That's how it works. But I will tell you this, when you take your mind off of that number and realize that you can only touch one family, your job is completed. Your job is completed. I know there's a quota that you guys have to hit. I understand. But the most important thing is the family that you will touch, the lives that you will touch can go very long ways. And that's what I want to reach out to you guys is, me and Charlie didn't want this to be a lecture because you guys already know the profession and the field that you guys chose to go into. We wanted this to be an open discussion, to have it open in a room to where, what are your challenges? Share your challenges around the room. And you will see, at the end of it, I'm already seeing where this is going. We all have the same challenges. Now is how we can do to work together and find different ways to help each other in those challenges. So, you know, I commend you guys. I really do commend you guys in the work that you guys do. Like I said, I know how hard the work, the heart and soul that you guys pour out into the different organizations, the different agencies that you guys are coming from. And I give you guys mad props because it's really hard, man. I know my wife, she's in social work, deals with public services. And I know if my wife is going through this, dealing with this, I can only understand what you guys coming home to deal with. This job, this profession, I already know you guys come with a lot of weight from work to the house. I know, and I know how challenging it is. Man, but like I said, I encourage you guys that if your support system is good, you guys will be okay in this profession. And I really mean that deeply, because that's what I decided. At first, I was struggling with it with my wife going into the social work field. I was struggling because, man, I didn't want her to bring her work home. What I realized is that she can help someone else. And if she can help someone else going through the tragedies or whatever issues that they're going through, that's what her calling was. And if I'm supportive of her through that, I know I'll be okay at the end. Because as long as she can touch one person's life, I feel like she's doing her calling. So with that.
So, like V said, we'll talk about some achievements after we get together in a group and talk about some of the challenges that you have and share some of those experiences with each other. And then when we get back to the group, we can talk about some of the achievements we have for the cafes. So thank you for getting together with your group. So now we are going to talk about a little bit of what we shared with each other on the tables. So any table can go first, volunteer, and talk about a little bit of what was discussed at your table.
So what I was sharing with my group was pushing the envelope. What I mean by that is I realized with the different agencies that you guys allow us dads to stay in that comfort zone. And what I mean by pushing the envelope is having them join the conversation, getting the conversation going, moving. And I love what Stephanie said about that, is that when you let the mother be dominant like that, that's where you're gonna stay at. That's the level that you're gonna stay at. But when you allow the father to join the conversation and let him know that he has a voice, you'll watch how that works. You'll watch how that works, especially in the family dynamic. But if you allow them to sit there in the comfort zone like, oh, well, you know what, it's okay, that's what you're gonna get. So it's allowing the fathers, empowering us dads to know that we have a voice too, not just providing, but as a supporter too. And that's what I share with my group, is that there's gonna be times you're gonna have to push that envelope. But letting them know that, you know what, you're a part of this conversation, whether you like it or not. And that's what, it's like, I understand the vision, the work that you guys have to do, but you guys cannot allow us dads to just sit there in that comfort zone. Because if you do, it's gonna just be a revolving door. It's gonna just be a cycle, and it's gonna just recycle all over again to where their kids are gonna do the same thing, and their kids, grandkids are gonna do the same thing. But if you empower the dads, for us, that we have a responsibility outside of just being a provider, you'll see how many doors we will open with that. And that's what I want to share with you guys is that conversation, letting them be involved in that conversation, and finding ways, come out with a plan with the mother or the spouse of how you can get the dad involved. Because I guarantee you, we'll give you all the excuses of the book. I have to work, my schedule doesn't work out. Now, this is where you're gonna have to open the envelope, like I said, is what me and Charlie did, was send out surveys. Oh, we'll find a way to come. If you're not gonna come to us, we're gonna come to you. And that's how it's gonna work. And like I shared with my group is, you guys are not in this for the money. I don't care what y'all can tell me, because there's no money in this field. Especially we live in Techville today. There's no money involved in this field. And all that tells me about you guys, about your personality, you're in here for the passion that you have. And that's what I'm saying I applaud you guys, I commend you guys for the work that you guys do, because, man, it's hard to live here in the Bay Area. But the passion that you guys have is gonna take you guys a long way. And I just wanna share really short, with the group that I have, I really adore them, because everything that they shared, Everything thank you, Allah, I appreciate that. Everything that they shared, it mirrored back what I did in my life. I was never the person that I am today, but the push of my wife is where that's the reason why I'm at today. Very blessed to have an amazing wife that pushed me to where I'm at, got me out of my comfort zone. Believe it or not, I was an introvert. I would never come and speak like this in front of a group. Never, ever in my life. But like what balanced me out is how I seen my wife when she came up in the home that she came up, and I came up in the home that she came up. I came up, like I shared with you guys earlier, I came up from a loving home. Both parents had everything they gave me. My wife didn't. But as I grew up and thought that all my job was a provider, my wife filled up those blanks about what a true provider or supporter is. She filled up the blanks that my dad didn't show me. And that's why I love and adore my wife so much, because those blanks, look here, my wife comes from a broken home, but look at the gap she filled in my life. And that's why I do the work that I do. So it's amazing the life that you will touch with everyone in my group. I appreciate you guys so much, because the things that you guys shared, that's who I was years ago. But I decided that, you know what? My little family deserves more than this. And I'm just tired for us male having that excuse and allowing you guys to give us that excuse. Because you guys, being the hardest thing, the hardest job, and I told my wife yesterday, the hardest job is being a parent. You guys all know that. It takes a full-time, that's a full-time job. And why are you guys, why am I allowing my wife to do everything when I can share the load too? And that's what I commend you guys again for the work that you guys do. It means deep to my heart. And man, keep it up. The challenges are going to be ahead. Many, many challenges that you guys already face. Standing from a view to where you guys are expert in the field that you're going to, but being an expert may not always help you guys in the field that you're going to get into. Understanding, observing is going to complete everything that you're going to do. And that's what I'm here to, I want to share with you guys. And just a little bit of achievement I wanted to share with our men's cafe. We have a dad here who's a part of that Father's Cafe, which I'm very blessed to have today. Really supportive. And I will say this, there's another dad that we had in our very beginning of our first Father's Cafe. Didn't want to do anything. Charlie tried to push, try to help him, just encourage him to step up as a leader. Didn't want to do anything. Now, last year, he was the president of the PCC meeting where he went to represent the parents on the EPA site. Decided to do it on his own, run PCC meetings. And that's the kind of effort that me and Charlie likes to do with these fathers, is allowing them, is empowering them, letting them know that, man, you know what, you can do it too. And that's what I want to share, is that if you can touch one life, because you cannot touch them all, and you may not, and it's okay, and be okay with it. It's okay, because as long as you continue to plant those little seeds, as long as you touch those parents, those fathers, those mothers that you guys work with, I guarantee you guys will go a long way. And that's what I want to share, is that we plant these seeds in these fathers. My accomplishment, as well as Charlie, I can say this, is that as long as we touch one dad, we feel like our job is complete. And it's not even the job. I feel like our work, accomplishment is complete with that. Because that dad is going to carry on something that they never had, just like I had. So I thank you guys for the work that you guys do. And I commend you guys, huge amount of respect, especially for the male figures. I love what you said. I've been around different agencies speaking to, and that's the first thing I look for, is the male. So, I applaud you for the work that you're doing, man. It's going to be a tough fight, because now, you know what? I feel like in this field, it's female dominant. across the board. I've seen it, and I've been into many rooms to where it's just female dominant. But I applaud you for the work that you do, Charlie. Just being some of the male figures, but I guarantee you, man, you're gonna balance things out with the female and the male in this field. And like I said, one man can change a whole lot.
That's right. Thank you, V. Thank you. And then I wanted, Marcus wanted to share a little bit before we end. We have about 2 minutes, 5 minutes. So Marcus wanted to share a little bit of what we do.
Well, I told Charlie that what I wanted to share was what we learned in Los Angeles when we went to this training conference, and how we can change a kid's life. I mean, to me, that was very impactful because we can all use it on our everyday lives. The way you talk to people can change the way you literally, I mean, you can make or break them sometimes. Words are so powerful. I mean, it was just so crazy because when we went to that conference, I started like seeing all these things about how we talk to people and how we can affect them, from little kids to adults. I just started seeing all these videos that came up all of a sudden. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, why is this all of a sudden coming to me? And it's very, to me, I was like, man, if I can change something, it's the way I'm going to talk to everybody. You know, I can't talk to the negative. I'm not that person. So it goes with even just a smile, guys. If you guys even smile to a dad or whatever it is, like, you can change their whole way of everything, to be honest. But if you're like, you know, talking to them like more of a professional, that's not going to do anything. More personal level, to be honest. I mean, I'm a very personal guy. And the way you're going to talk to me is don't give me lectures. Talk to me as a person. I'm going to respect you more, and we can get things done better. But going back to like what I learned in the conference is, you know, the power of awareness in the way we talk to people. If you're always telling somebody no, 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 especially a little kid, like, that kid is not, his self-esteem is going to be so low. If you're indifferent, they're not going to get encouraged to do anything. But when you tell them yes with a positive, it can create so much more to them where they can be empowered. And that can go to a parent too. Yes, you can do it. Absolutely. They're going to feel like, oh my goodness, like, this person don't even know me. They already know I can do it. Like, it just brings your confidence level like up here. So again, like, when you guys are talking to parents, enthusiasm, you know, from the heart, because, you know, you're trying to change a life, right? If you're going to change a life, you ain't gonna talk to them like, let me change your life. You know what I mean? Boom. No, you gotta be from the heart. You know, you guys really need to start talking to people from the heart, change your life like you really want to change your life. Because if you're gonna keep doing that, you ain't gonna go nowhere. And again, like, more of a personal level, I think really got me going into this, knowing Charlie and seeing V in the town a lot of the times, you know, made me want to just be like, man, I want to be like these guys. So I'm going to look up to these guys. And again, guys, just the way you talk to people, you know, positive, always positive and always happy, and you can change a lot of lives. So that's kind of what I want to share.